12 minutes past the hour of 2 o'clock, and it's another time to welcome you to Honor 103.5 FM on the program Transport and Tourism Express. I hope you're having an eventful day wherever you're listening to this great radio dial in the city of Ibadan, located at Akongi Bodija, Ibadan. I really hope again you're having an eventful day. This is the 6th month of the year, and the year is gradually getting into the next half of it. And one thing I really hope is that all you've laid out in plans, you've laid out in actions to do, I really hope they are taking up materiality and tangibility, especially at this period of time. I think it's also a good period of time for you to sit back, do a level of review, relax, and look into some of these activities. For us in the transport and tourism sector, it's been a lot within the last 6 months, and perhaps we'll get to see more within the coming 6 months. My name is Victor Oyejide, and again, this program is one where we get to look at issues of public importance in the transport and tourism sector. And you know, when we say transport, we get to look at both from the various modes of transportation, the air transport, the land, talking specifically about road and the rail sector, talking also about the water transportation, the inbound and the inland waterways and the maritime sector. Again, within the transport sector, we get to look at the inbound and outbound tourism within that space. On the program today, we get to look at, do a review of the entire 6 months that we've used in this sector, within the two sectors, talking about transport and tourism. I also have a guest that I get to speak to during the course of the program. But again, like I said, you know, as we do it every week, we get to look at some of the trending news in these two sectors, within the transport and tourism. But for today, we'll be really speaking to our guest first before we finally get to review the last 6 months, instead of just doing it within a short period of news of what has trended within the last 1 week. So keep it locked down. This is still Honor 103.5. I'll be back after this short musical break. You're listening to 7 Lives by Beautiful Nubia. When I'm back, I'll be speaking to my guests who are around in the studio with me. And from there, we get to look at some of the major activities that happened in the last 6 months within the Transport and Tourism Express. We'll be doing this together with Rufus Osunsami. And from there, we hope that we'll be able to touch on some of the aspirations of Nigerians, and perhaps you'll be able to also express your opinions and your thoughts on what this government is supposed to focus on, both at the local, within the states, and the national level, still in the transport and tourism sector. Keep it locked down. This is still Honor 103.5. I'll be playing you 7 Lives from Beautiful Nubia.
In my journey through the world, over land and over sea, I see different cultures and different people's ways. I was born where the sun never sets and never rises. I was born where the heat is like a second skin. crying on the streets, automobiles making noise, the land is growing dry and weak, spirits dying low. The forefathers calling me, I never tire, never weaken. The pride in me is bursting loose, I'm an African boy. Prostrate at my feet and say a few prayers. Then he told me all the stories of my brave ancestors. He said, look into my eyes, son, you were born to be great. So in the twilight I went home behind my father with hope, listening to the songs of birds, whispers of the night. I was singing, seven, hey, 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 hey.
Welcoming you back from that short musical break. You're listening to 7 Live, some beautiful Nubia. And this is still on our 103.5 FM on the program Transport and Tourism Express. You know, on this program, just like we do it every week, we get to look at a particular sector. And today, our program gets to sit in between again, talking about the transport and the tourism sector. Our focus would be on migration. Migration, and why did I say in the two sectors? Because you need air transportation to be able to move. It's also a bit of tourism also, as much as it touches in on various other aspects of travels. Today on the program, I have a very distinguished personality who is a country manager for Flyover Success. Flyover Success in the studio with me. Thank you for joining us today in the studio.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure to have you around.
Yes, please.
On the program today, our focus is really within migration, talking about the cost, the risks, and some of the opportunities that present itself to Nigerians out there listening to us. And perhaps we get to look at some of your success stories as an organization. But again, one thing I know of recent is the fact that a whole lot of Nigerians, especially at this time when the economy is not really smiling, essential travels is a major consideration. People, as much as they want to go for vacation, explore several places, they really still want to put their money where they can get returns on investments, returns on from all of these funds, because it takes a whole lot to travel. So what do you offer us as an organization?
Thank you so much. In Flyover Success, our priority is to ensure that you get a seamless relocation program.
Seamless relocation program.
So we know that everyone has a focus. For some people, they just want to go with their families on vacation. We have programs for that. But majorly our focus is for those who are looking for greener pastures as regards work. So if you are going to a country to work, it's no longer the regular that people get everywhere. They just travel, try converting and all that. We give you work direct.
Work direct.
Yes. So
you know when there's a package, there are things people talk about studying and working, where you get to study abroad, or maybe what they say learn and earn.
Correct.
Work for about 20 hours or more during the course of the period. But you are saying that this is strictly a work permit. Yes,
the focus is you're going to work directly. So you are not having stipulated work hours that cannot give you the income that you expect. That's going to meet up with your needs. Yes, you may also want to study maybe online, but you are in the country working legally. And also working legally in a country consistently for at least unrestricted. It gives you, this is the best pathway to permanent residency. You can finish schooling and you'll be asked to return back home. So we have looked at all the odds, and so we brought programs especially for Europe, whom has opened their doors, most especially at this time, for young people
to come in.
To come in to work. And so we have countries designated for different budgets. For instance, for the guys that, I don't have baggages, I'm alone, I just want to travel, you can go to Poland, Malta, and you'll be given a direct work visa into those countries.
Okay, so let's look at it this way. I know that there are different kind of works. There are those for skilled workers and those for
Correct.
unskilled workers.
Correct.
You can go perhaps as a professional in a particular space, maybe as a footballer, as a medical doctor, maybe a pharmacist, and all of these. What category of work are you really talking about? Skilled or unskilled migration?
Okay, so there's skilled and unskilled on the general or critical, because there's something called general employment scheme, which allows general artisans, those that do not have all the experience, but you have O-level results and you are able to speak. If you are able to speak and you have a driving license, you speak in English. Yes, sorry. So if you're able to speak English correctly, you are able to communicate, is enough for you to get a job like a sales rep. This can badge you a job, you know, and then if you have a driving license, you'll be able to work anywhere as long as you can drive.
When you say driving license, Nigerian driver's license?
If you have a Nigerian driving license, then you are able to get an international driving license. So you start from getting a Nigerian driving license first. So then we'll start processing you to get an international driving license. So these are very, very basic criteria for those that are not professionals. Now, for the medical doctors, they know that for you to get a job directly as a medical doctor, you need the licenses, right?
You need to be inducted.
You need to be
into your
inducted.
association.
So, you know, all of those things, we also have those packaged. Those are the ones we call the critical skilled worker programs. So this is very, very, it's a professional stage. So when we have openings, for instance, in somewhere like Netherlands currently, we have openings for nurses. So we expect that as a nurse, you have a license, you have experience.
You've been inducted
We've
into
been
the
inducted
Nursing and
into.
Midwifery
So we
Council.
just process your permits directly with these employers. And also as medical practitioners, of course, you have diverse medical practitioners in different aspects. So we look at your aspect and we put you exactly in where you are able to. You're able to feed it.
All right. So, you know, you said something which is quite important to me. You said as long as they're able to speak, I believe they are going to work in a particular speaking environment. You said speak English. I know definitely you need to communicate to whoever you're working with. Let's say you're working as a caregiver, but countries like you mentioned now, some of them are French-speaking countries. Europe, you have Spain also. I don't know, are there specific countries?
Okay, which is why, yes, I said, for instance, a country like Malta, English is a second language. Poland also, English is also, this Polish. However, these companies that are employing in these countries, this is one of the reasons why they are asking for people that speak English to come in. They are beginning to go diverse with other cultures.
They don't write a test of English language?
They don't write test of English language. So your basic requirement for us is your O-level result that shows that you have done English in school and you're able to communicate. So we put this together and then we are able to give you a job. Like I said, for the low skilled, as long as you can speak English, we can give you any job that you'll be able to fit into. Perfect. So that's it.
All right, thank you. If you're just joining us, I've been speaking with Opeyemi Abiola, who is the country manager for Fly Over Success. Particularly, she's speaking to the opportunities for skilled and unskilled migration, specifically on touching on some particular countries. You said
Ireland, Poland,
Netherlands, and Netherlands. So let's be more specific. What kind of jobs do people really get? How long does that work permit or their maybe sponsorship also get out? You know, it's a different thing to get your approval. It's also a different thing to get your visa. To really maybe getting an appointment is also a different thing. How do you scale through all those?
Okay, so we've done a lot of work permits in the past few months, and as we speak, we have testimonials already on success stories already, for instance, from the Poland people and then the Malta people. We already have offer letters and we already at the visa stage.
Are there places people can confirm this?
Yes, please. We have the website. They can call the numbers. So we just don't dish out offer letters and then you're beginning to wonder where this is from. So you can do your verification. However, as a matter of fact, for those who got their offer letters, before they moved to the visa stage, they did their verification before they were able to move to the next level. And yes, you said something about sponsorship and all that. So we work basically through slots. They are all slot based. So if you must be able to fit into the slot, then you will be able to cover the expenses that comes with it.
You must be able to cover the
You
expenses.
must be able to cover the expenses.
You can't do travel now, pay later?
No, we don't do that.
Oh.
Those opportunities are no longer available because it has been abused in the past.
Wow.
Yes, especially from Nigerians. Sponsorship from employees, having to deduct your money, and then you say you're no longer working.
It's been a good time speaking with you today. Would you want to reel out your phone numbers and the ways people can reach out to you?
Oh, yes. We're at Adioyo Roundabout Base 1 Plaza, and we also have an office in Damin Plaza here in Ibadan. We're also in Lagos office. And if you want to call us, you can call this number or send a WhatsApp message to 070 844 76655. You can also 8070-844-76655, 081-59-44444. That is 4 in 6. Beg your pardon. Yes, in 6 places. That's for the glow line. 081. I take it again. 59 4 in 6 places. You can also call this number. 080-799-08543. You can reach us Lagos and Ibadan address.
You have a social media page people can really
Yes,
check
please. You can actually follow us on Instagram, flyover24ng.
Flyover 24ng. The figure
Flyover 2024 ng.
All right, thank you for speaking with us today. Okpeyemi Abiola, the country manager for Flyover Success, right?
Yes, please.
All right, thank you really for speaking with us.
You're
I
welcome.
trust people that with some of these things that you've really spoken about and the consideration for Nigerians are talking about getting work permits, they would really push through with this. You want to reel out your phone numbers again?
Yes, please. You can reach us again on 070-844-76655, 081-59 and 4 in 6 places.
081-594 in 6 places. Thank you very much for speaking with us today. Do have a wonderful time.
Thank you so much.
Children crying on the streets, automobiles making noise, the land is growing dry and weak. Spirits.
Feel the vibes on Honor 103.5 FM.
Let's rock.
òdodo lọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá tó sọ pé bàbá dóko bàbá ẹlòmíì rí àní kò sóko tó jókòó bàbá ẹni lọ. ìgbà tí mo dé Subcam Leading Hotel and Suites ni mo fìdí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí múlẹ̀ láìsí àní-àní ìgbádùn ṣodo síbi kan ju bí kan lọ. Subcam is centrally located in a secure environment that gives you rest of mind anytime, any day. At Subcam, our goal is to offer our guests a comfortable, affordable, and exceptional accommodation. There is also event and conference hall for all occasions with watertight security. Our restaurant serves local and continental cuisines. Assorted drinks are also available in our bar whenever you want it, alongside Wi-Fi coverage and top-notch laundry. With all the facilities too numerous to mention. Seeing is believing. Subcam Leading Hotel and Suites is at Box 3 Mechanic Scheme opposite New Garage off Ijebode Road, Ibadan State. Telephone 090-6466-7569. Subcam Leading Hotel and Suites. In hospitality, we lead. Unless we make broadcasting accountable, it is going to be very hard to change anything else for the better in our society. That is why all established and aspiring broadcasters are enjoined to join Society of Nigerian Broadcasters, SNB, the only legally recognized professional body for broadcasters in Nigeria. Registered since 1994. Ìjọba ti wá rọ Society of Nigerian Broadcasters, SNB, lágbára láti issue operational license fún gbogbo ẹnikẹ́ni tó fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ ìgbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́ lórílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà. SMB has successfully gone through all the different stages of becoming law. Ajẹ́pẹ̀pọ̀ ẹnikẹ́ni láti rẹ́sẹ̀ wálẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí agbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́ lórílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà. Ó ní láti jẹ́ ọ̀kan lára àwọn ẹgbẹ́ SMB. Join now and be glad you did. Fún àlàyé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ láti gbọmọ ẹgbẹ́ SMB, ẹ pè alábòjútó National Coordinator Dr. Yemisi Bamgbose lórí ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ 0803-331-5256 or better still visit www.smb.com.ng. Be fulfilled as a broadcaster. Join SMB. Hello there. Do you wish to improve your business and take control of your career? If yes, do business with Honor FM. 103.5 Ibadan. And you will thank me immensely, for honor and integrity is our watchword at Honor FM Ibadan.
On 103.5 FM.
Said in my journey through the world, over land and over sea, I see different cultures and different people's ways. I was born where the sun never sets and never rises. I was born where the heat is like a second skin. Children crying on the streets, automobiles making noise, the land is growing dry and weak, spirits dying.
Welcoming you back from that short musical break. You're listening to 7 Live from beautiful Nubia. Welcoming you back again. Today on the program, I have my brother, Rufus Osunsami. And like I mentioned earlier on, we'll be looking at doing a review of the last 6 months on the second belt of the program within the transport and tourism sector. As you know, today is the last day in the month of June, marking the end of the first half of the year. And quite a lot of things had gone on. The good, the positive ones, and those that we need to take a look into closely for there to be an improvement in both sectors, talking about transport and tourism. We have a lot of success stories reviewing some of the policies and operations of government. Yes, the time is short, but as much as we can talk on or touch on, we will do that today. And it's a pleasure to have you again in the studio, Rufus Osunsami. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, it's my pleasure to be here.
The transport sector is a major hand where Nigerians really, which really concerns Nigerians, because everyday commutes is important. And there is no way your daily way of life would move on without you moving around from one point to another. Whether you are flying or you are on water, you are even using the pedestrians as someone walking from one location to another, or you are probably even using the public transport system. One way or the other, you have to move. How well has the transport sector fared? Let's take it from the state level in Oyo State. Basically looking at the air transport and the road transport also, because we can't say the rail sector really touches on the state government as such.
Yeah, thank you very much. The thing is, you know, like you said, transportation is a backbone for the economy anywhere in the world. If the transportation system is not okay, I mean, the economy will be affected. I mean, that can be seen in 2020 when, you know, everybody was almost everybody was home, things were not moving.
The COVID period.
The economy was really down. So transportation is really a very important. So, but starting from, or your state here, about how far, transportation have been, I think, the state government, especially the Oyo state government, is trying to improve, the means of transportation, especially within, the state. And even, we've seen some of the things that they did, even interstate, even though that one is still like, there's still like some things to be done there.
Into.
But even interstate and intercities.
Let's take it from that interstate that you mentioned, talking about the Paysetter transport service.
Yes, I think earlier this year, I think, but starting from December, the state government started, commuting people from, especially Ibadan to Lagos. So and so far it has really been great. But that's just like the major route. There is no like the government. The PTS has not moved to other states. So
I think they do to Abuja.
Yes, Lagos and Abuja. They started Abuja after Lagos. Afterwards. So probably maybe before the end of the year, they will also look into other states. So, but looking at how it is going so far, it has been good, especially looking at people's
comfort.
Comfort and the testimonies of people who
feedback
about the transportation.
A major concern I have about the Paysetter transport service, just about two different things. As much as they are timely, within 3 hours. If you miss that 3 hours, you have to wait for the next boarding time, so to say. They take off from the LA Park, which is in their office, where their office operates. But beyond all of this, you have a whole lot of, we have about 3 or 4 parks in Oyo State. The one at Challenge, the one at there's a park at Iwo Road. These are major places that you see citizens in Oyo State going to board vehicles. Why is it that we only have to have it at LA? Why don't the state government owns these garages? The state government owns this park. Why don't we have them at Challenge? Why don't we also have them at Iwo Road and some of these other major parks in the states?
I believe the government is trying to test waters.
Water for how long?
If we look at it, right, it's about this expansion should be based on the acceptability of the idea from the state government. If the people are actually willing to accept the idea of the government transporting them from one place to another, or everybody just want to stick to their private transportation and haul. So if it is widely accepted, then I think the government will think about moving to other parks so that it can have a wide range covered in the state.
And the fact that they use CNG and the whole lot talks about the sustainable transport system. Let's move on from there, talking about the air transport in Oyo State. The air transport in Oyo State, I know for a while Ibadan Airport has been closed, still ongoing renovation. Are there possibilities of reopening soon?
I think one thing is this: the truth is that if we want development, there are just some pains we'll have to go through. Yes, the airport has been closed for a while now, and we all know the reason why it was closed. It's just for the government to upgrade it. So I believe when the upgrade comes, we all forget all those times when it was closed. I understand that even businesses around the airport, would have been affected, revenues generated from the airport and all of those things. But this is to a better goal. This is to a better achievement of the upgrading of the airport, and everything will be fine as soon as the government open it. But one thing we just I would just like to tell the government is to hasten whatever they are doing and not,
On that end.
allow the work to slow down at any point.
We have a lot of still people from Oyo State going to Lagos now to board and explore the Lagos airport. But again, I know that this is all within a short period, within a period of time. Coming down to road transport, we know quite a lot of constructions are going on in the states. From most roads that allows commuting around, doing a junction improvement. But again, looking at a major one, which is a circular road, that is really a major thing of concern. A lot of citizens, especially those that road is passing through their houses, made complaints at different points. What's your thought on this?
Well, about the circular road, I was already thinking the government should have actually, the circular road should be close to its completion.
By
But
now, looking at how far.
I don't think it's actually close because, not quite long we still hear about another new phase and, all of those things. So I think the government, a lot of things has happened when it comes to circular road actually, the demolition of people's houses and all of those
protests from people.
protests has happened. But I think the government so far has been able to, undo all of those things. So, and I hope, let's hope, not like news just die down naturally in the country and then we will not hear about it, anything about it. Let's hope that the government has actually taken, a good step
decisive.
to take care of people who has been affected, and of course to also plan how the road will be finished. I hope that before the end of Governor Seyi Makinde's tenure, that he will actually be able to commission the circular road fully for full use, and then it's such a big project that it will really help the state.
Well, the state government, I know from what it has been doing, has tried connecting major zones within the country from one location within the states, talking about Oyo to Gbomosho, working on Iseyin to some other places just like that to see that. And as we speak, there are quite a number of other activities going on, not to praise or drums praises for the government, but these are some of the things we see on ground, as much as there are still so many places that are not in a good state that the government really needs to attend to. Some areas, I think Oleyo and quite a number of places that you might also want to talk about that
Well, one thing I've seen people complain about is the most of the internal roads in Oyo State, roads that leads to the remote areas and all of those things. At least if I don't know anyone, I know one of Olodo. So so because I go to there. So
but they recently just did commission the road on that route also.
That's the bridge.
The
that was the
bridge.
bridge.
Oh, okay.
And that's like even one phase. There's the second one is yet to be completed. At least I've not heard the
So
the
gradually work has
So-
started in that hand then.
Of course, gradually. So, but I'm not even talking about that's like the major road. I'm talking about the roads, that leads, the internal roads that leads to people. One thing people have been complaining about is that the government. Okay, let's look at the UI axis and roundabout and all of those places that the government is reconstructing, trying to make everything smooth. People have been complaining that okay, the government is doing roads that are good, and then the roads that are even bad, the government are not doing it. But I believe that the current government knows what they are doing, and I hope that they also consider all these internal roads for construction.
Thank you very much. I need to go on a short commercial break now, and when I'm back, perhaps we'll also get to look at some of these other spaces within Nigeria, talking about outside of your state.
On 103.5 FM.
Hello there. Can I have your attention, please? Are you an industrialist, a businessman or woman? Are you an internationally acclaimed business realtor in the large or small scale industry? Are you a market man or woman? Or do you own a shop just down the road and you don't know how to promote your business to your community and beyond? Have no fear. Honor FM Radio Market is here. With every small amount of money, you can advertise your goods and services without sweat. Take advantage of our bumper package now. Visit our marketing department or call Rachel on 0808 6075 600 or 080 7777 4880. For your business, goods, and services to excel, partner with Honor 103.5 FM. You know why? Honor and integrity is our watchword.
On the 103.5 FM.
Your integrity station.
Welcoming you back from that short music break, from that commercial break. And the program you're still listening to is Transport and Tourism Express. And we're trying to really do a review of the last 6 months in the transport and tourism sector, particularly looking at Oyo State. And perhaps we get to extend to the national level. In Oyo State, talking about the tourism sector, let's say tourism and culture, we had quite a number of festivals. The Egungun Festival that held in Oyo State. I know we also had the Ibadan Central Council of Ibadan having their own tourism or festival also within that period, within the last 6 months, quite a number. We had the twins, also the Oguntoye twins having their own tourism events, quite a number of tourism events within the state. And I think we have one upcoming also, organized by the Ministry of Culture and Tourism in Oyo State. What's your thoughts on how far the contribution of Oyo State to tourism development?
All right. So I think compared to last year and of course the previous years, I think there is now more attention drawn to tourism in Oyo State and even in Nigeria generally. The ideology, the former ideology used to be that there is nothing about Nigeria, there is no place to visit, there is nothing to do, nothing fun, everywhere is just dry and all of those things. But with different events coming in
up,
and even some people in the sector enlightening people, travel vloggers generally, capturing beautiful places all over the country and even the state here, I think people are now being aware of, places that they can visit, things that they can do. And then it's not just about, of course, dry land and all of those things. So I think the tourism sector is improving gradually.
Like I rightly said earlier on, that we had several events, just like the Ibadan Travel and Tourism Expo that happened. And in few days to come now, I think that should be next month, we'll be having the International Tourism Summit also coming up in the state, and quite a number of other activities that happened that I know most to happen within the tourism sector. And one must commend Dr. Wasiu Olatubosun for this great initiative alongside other people coming up with some of these things. Let's take a brief look into the national level. The push for the compressed natural gas. It seems a lot of Nigerians are embracing it massively now. I see tricycles, the three-wheelers, I see vehicles also making use of these now. The level of acceptance is increasing. What have you seen on the streets?
Like I said, I think when we consider, this topic some months ago, I could remember I said something. I said, the people, it is the testimony of the people that we try to first, use this CNG initiative would be the one to encourage others, to also go and convert their, tricycles or vehicles to, CNG. It's not about, the government telling people to do it. It's about hearing testimonies of people who has who is using it, and then they think it is just fine. So people will just, as long as they hear that good testimony, they can
would
also be
embrace
encouraged to
it.
do it. So I think the testimony of people has been good so far. So we are having more people go into that.
And
area.
looking at the fact that since the fuel subsidy has been removed, the economic burden increased, and this seems to be like an easy way, or perhaps a more softer route for people, since the federal government has also supported in various ways. Let's take a look at the Calabar. The Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway, which is still ongoing. I know, but the first phase has been commissioned. They are talking about the 700 kilometer that was commissioned last month. Yeah.
I think you said how many kilometers now?
700 kilometers for the first phase.
There has been different arguments.
I mean,
on
when
social
I said
media.
700 kilometers, the entire stretch, but 30 kilometers has been commissioned.
Okay, so there has been different arguments even about the 30 kilometer within Lagos State. There has been different argument about the coastal highway. But I mean, a lot of people believe that that is not the project that is necessary for the country now. But of course, if it is also like it can also be achieved, it will be a good thing. It will, I mean, connecting the west to the east, I mean, that will be a good thing. But one thing, I don't want to comment the commissioning, because I think it was not necessary. It was not necessary. 30 kilometer out of that project.
They want to show
is a
Nigerians
lot.
that they've started doing something.
No. That's we don't need you to show us when you are still like you haven't even done like quarter of the work. Let's do like half of the work first. Leave Lagos State, get to Ondo State. Let's start going
Touching
to east,
into
and
other
then you
places.
can say, okay, let's commission a part. No, that commissioning was not necessary, but of course there's nothing we can do about it. But I hope that this administration will actually be able to finish that project.
Well, just like you say, you hope. I also hope they will be able to. Let's touch a bit just on the railway sector. The Lagos State government doing quite a lot with that, with their metro lines, the blue metro line, the blue rail metro lines, the red, and some of these other places connecting various parts of Lagos, which so many states are borrowing clue from it. Recently, they also acquired a set of new coaches to be able to increase connectivity within that space. How far and how well do you think Lagos is doing with this?
I think even for being the first state trying that in this country, I think they are trying. So it is gradual. So, but I hope that they can. I think. But one thing I think I noticed about all the rail lines, I think what the government of Lagos State is trying to do is to divert the attention to from the roads and even from mainland to the highland. So but I think they should also look into how this rails can also be cover the mainland, so that because that's like where most of the people are currently. So even though they are trying to divert the rail to highland, but they should also look into the mainland.
All right, so I think some of what I've seen, some of this takeover actually happened within these suburbs, talking about mainland, then heading inward. But as much as possible, there's still more for them to do in terms of connectivity. But more importantly, within our own state, there are clues for them to also borrow and develop the transport system, looking at alternative means of transport for you to have an integrated transport system in the state. And with this, I think we'll draw curtains on the program Transport and Tourism. Time is really not on our side again, and we'll have to call it quits yet. And thank you very much to everyone who has joined us today on the program. And I won't go without stating the fact that the Oyo State government has now enforced to enforce QR code jacket policy for Okada riders. And as part of commitment, the Oyo State government has reaffirmed this commitment to enforcing the QR code embedded jacket policy for commercial motorcycles following the surge in criminal activities involving unregistered operators. This was a statement issued on Saturday by the chairman of the Oyo State Traffic Management Authority, stating that the government would intensify enforcement and public awareness campaign to ensure compliance. I really hope a number of our bike riders across the states will keep up to this. Your final parting words.
I mean, this is the half of the year. I hope that we will all go back and do revisions of the things we want to do. And we hope God will help us to achieve them.
I hope God will help us to achieve it. We all call God into this, but we have a lot to also do personally as the government and as individuals. Till next week, when we come your way again, do have a great day and happy new month in advance. Thank you. My name is Victor Oyejide.